A chilling piece of footage has just surfaced, and many believe it captures the very last moments of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez alive. In the grainy clip, a figure resembling Celeste appears in the background just hours before her disappearance was reported. But what does this footage actually reveal, and more importantly, who was there with her? Tonight, we dive into the evidence, the speculation, and the unanswered questions surrounding this disturbing case. Was this Celeste's final moment caught on camera, or does the truth lie deeper than what the footage shows? Before we begin, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Detective Ben True Crime, and let me know in the comments where in the world you're watching from. Your engagement helps us continue shining a light on cases that demand answers. Before we examine the new footage, it's important to remember who this case is truly about: Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Celeste was just 15 years old when she vanished. She lived in Lake Elsinore, California, a suburban community not far from Los Angeles. Friends described her as bright, creative, and always full of energy. She loved music, spent hours sketching in her notebooks, and had dreams of one day working in fashion. To her family, she was more than just a headline. She was a daughter, a sister, and a best friend. On April 5, 2024, Celeste was reported missing. Her absence shook her community, sparking searches and online appeals for help. Flyers with her photo circulated quickly, showing a teenage girl with long dark hair, glasses, and a warm smile. For months, her family held on to hope until the devastating discovery in September 2025, when her remains were found in a Tesla registered to rising music star David Burke, known by fans as D4VD. The heartbreaking truth is that Celeste's life was cut tragically short. And as investigators continue piecing together what happened to her, new footage has surfaced that could bring us closer to understanding her final hours. The case took a dark turn in early September 2025. After months of searching and countless public appeals, investigators made a discovery that would change everything. Inside a Tesla parked in Los Angeles, police found the remains of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The car was registered to music artist David, who by then had already been making headlines worldwide for his meteoric rise in the industry. The discovery immediately raised questions. How did Celeste end up there? And what role, if any, did David or those around him play in this tragedy? News of the discovery spread rapidly, devastating Celeste's family and sending shockwaves through her community. Vigils were held in Lake Elsinore, where neighbors gathered to honor her memory with candles, prayers, and music. For many, the news confirmed their worst fears, while for others, it only deepened the mystery: who was responsible for Celeste's death, and why did her body end up in David's vehicle? This discovery wasn't just a turning point in the investigation. It became the moment the world realized Celeste's story was far bigger than a local missing person case. And soon after, new footage began to surface, footage that some believe shows her final moments alive. To understand how investigators reached this point, we need to walk through the timeline of events that shaped the case. On April 5, 2024, Celeste was reported missing. Her family grew alarmed when she didn't return home, and by that evening, law enforcement had entered her details into the National Missing Persons Database. Local searches were launched across Lake Elsinore, first by police, then later by volunteers who combed parks, neighborhoods, and nearby trails in hopes of finding her. Over the following weeks, investigators began piecing together Celeste's digital footprint. Phone records showed her last known activity that very afternoon. Surveillance cameras in her neighborhood captured her walking alone just hours before she disappeared. Beyond that, little else was clear, and the trail seemed to grow colder with each passing day. By the summer of 2024, the case had gained traction online. Hashtags demanding justice for Celeste began circulating, and independent sleuths started digging through every possible lead. Rumors of connections to David, whose music career was skyrocketing at the time, began surfacing. But investigators kept their focus, interviewing witnesses, pulling GPS data, and quietly executing search warrants. It wasn't until September 2025 that the biggest breakthrough came. Detectives confirmed that a Tesla registered to David had been located in Los Angeles. Inside, they discovered Celeste's remains. Almost immediately, attention turned back to David, with investigators questioning how his car became the final resting place of a missing teenager. That discovery reframed the entire investigation, pushing it into the national spotlight and fueling interest in new evidence, including the recently exposed footage that may hold critical clues about Celeste's last moments. Now we arrive at the centerpiece of this case, the new footage that many believe captures Celeste's final moments alive. The video, which surfaced just days after her remains were discovered, quickly spread across social media. At first glance, it appears to be ordinary security footage, grainy, dimly lit, and time-stamped just hours before Celeste's disappearance was reported. But when investigators and online analysts slowed it down, they noticed something chilling. In the corner of the frame, a figure closely resembling Celeste can be seen walking near what appears to be a parking structure. She is wearing the same outfit described in the missing person report, a light hoodie, jeans, and sneakers. Her movements seem hurried, almost anxious. Moments later, another shadowy figure enters the frame. While their face is not clearly visible, viewers have speculated endlessly about their identity. What makes the footage especially significant is its location. The timestamp and GPS metadata suggest it was captured just blocks away from where David's Tesla was later found. This proximity has fueled intense debate. Was Celeste being followed? Did she willingly meet someone there? Or does the video show a chance encounter that turned deadly? Authorities have not released the full video to the public, citing the ongoing investigation, but brief clips have circulated through news outlets and online communities. Every frame is being scrutinized, from Celeste's body language to the unknown individual who trails behind her. For investigators, this footage could prove to be a turning point. If verified, it might not only confirm Celeste's final movements, but also establish a direct link between her disappearance and the discovery of her body and David's vehicle. When it comes to any true crime investigation, speculation can only go so far. What really matters is evidence. And in this case, investigators have already uncovered several key findings that begin to piece together Celeste's final hours. First, let's start with the vehicle. Celeste's remains were discovered inside David's black Tesla. Now, Teslas aren't just cars, they're essentially rolling computers equipped with GPS tracking, built-in cameras, and a motion sensor system that records any activity near the vehicle. According to law enforcement, this means they already have access to valuable digital evidence that could reveal who last drove the car, when it was parked, and even whether someone else entered it alongside Celeste. Second, we have the timeline of the Tesla itself. Records indicate the car had been sitting unused for weeks before it was repossessed in early September. Yet somewhere in that window of time, Celeste ended up inside it. Investigators are now analyzing whether the car's data storage contains video or location logs that can confirm how and when she was placed there. Third, digital evidence from David's online activity has drawn attention. Screenshots of Discord conversations, while still under verification, appear to show him speaking directly with Celeste as early as 2022. What has been confirmed is that David's computer was seized during a police search of his residence, and new evidence files were opened in California as a result. The exact contents have not been made public, but officials did confirm that materials found were serious enough to escalate the investigation. Finally, multiple witnesses have pointed to live streams and photos tying Celeste to David in the months before she disappeared. In one Twitch clip, she can be seen wearing the same sweater and glasses later described in her missing person poster. Investigators have not officially labeled this clip as her last known appearance, but it is widely considered one of the most significant pieces of confirmed visual evidence. Now, before we go further, it's important to draw a clear line between confirmed facts and unverified claims. In every major true crime case, rumors spread like wildfire, and the disappearance of Celeste has been no exception. On social media, users have circulated alleged screenshots of Discord messages that they say came from David. In these conversations, he allegedly refers to a private relationship with Celeste, even suggesting she was expecting a child. Some users claim these screenshots were tied to her deleted account, which was active in David's fan server. At the same time, photos were shared showing Celeste with a tattoo on her finger and another image of her sitting with David backstage. But again, none of this has been officially confirmed by law enforcement. Then there's the resurfaced live stream clip that raised eyebrows. In the video, David can be heard asking moderators to delete all VODs and clips after his broadcast ended. Online communities latched onto this moment, claiming it was proof he was trying to erase evidence of Celeste appearing on his streams. While the clip is real, its context remains unclear, and whether it actually ties to Celeste's disappearance is still unknown. Perhaps the most widely discussed rumor involves a video allegedly showing David cleaning a pair of sneakers outside his home, sneakers that looked identical to the ones Celeste was often seen wearing. This connection has fueled speculation, but until investigators confirm the authenticity of the clip, it remains just that, speculation. As a reminder, while these rumors paint a troubling picture, they are not verified facts. They should be treated with caution until official investigators confirm or deny their validity. The case of Celeste and David hasn't just played out in police reports and court filings. It has exploded across the media and online communities. Major news outlets quickly picked up the story after Celeste's remains were discovered inside David's Tesla, framing it as one of the most disturbing intersections of celebrity culture and true crime in recent memory. Headlines speculated on David's possible involvement, while TV commentators debated whether the online evidence circulating had any credibility. Social media, however, is where the story truly took fire. On TikTok, Twitter, and Reddit, users dissected every frame of leaked footage, every lyric in David's songs, and every screenshot of alleged messages. Hashtags like #JusticeForCeleste and #DavidCase began trending, as thousands of people posted their own theories and breakdowns. Even cultural commentators and streamers weighed in. DJ academics, for example, combed through David's music catalog, pointing to song titles like Crashing, Ghost, and Afterlife, suggesting they might contain hidden references to the case. While these interpretations remain speculative, they fueled endless debate among fans and critics alike. The reaction has also been polarizing. Some supporters of David argue that the internet has rushed to judgment before law enforcement has finished its work. Others believe the digital breadcrumbs from Discord chats to live stream clips are too consistent to ignore. What's clear is that this case has gripped public attention in a way few modern true crime stories have, blurring the lines between entertainment, rumor, and a very real tragedy. As the speculation grew louder online, law enforcement made it clear that they were also taking this case seriously. Officials confirmed that a search warrant had been executed at a residence tied to David. According to reports, computers and digital devices were seized, and investigators opened new evidence files in California as a direct result of what they found. Police also searched the home where David was believed to have been staying. While full details of what was recovered haven't been released, sources noted that investigators flagged material on his computer that they described as significant. This was enough to escalate the scope of the inquiry. The Tesla where Celeste was found has also become a central piece of the investigation. Authorities stress that Teslas are uniquely valuable in cases like this, since they come with built-in GPS tracking and a 360-degree camera system that can capture motion-activated footage. Investigators are currently analyzing whether that data can confirm exactly when Celeste entered the vehicle, and if anyone else was present. At this stage, David has not been officially charged. Law enforcement has described him as a person of interest, not yet a confirmed suspect. But the combination of digital evidence, vehicle records, and resurfaced online content has kept him firmly under the spotlight. Police press conferences have been cautious, reminding the public that the investigation is ongoing. Still, with each update, the case against David appears to grow more complex and potentially more incriminating. So where does the case stand today? At this moment, investigators continue to piece together Celeste's final movements and David's possible role in her disappearance. The evidence recovered from his Tesla and his seized electronics remains under review, and authorities have not yet released the full findings to the public. David has since canceled several scheduled performances, including a major tour stop in Seattle. While no official charges have been filed yet, police confirmed they are actively seeking to question him further about his connection to Celeste. Sources close to the investigation report that detectives are working closely with both digital forensic experts and Tesla itself to analyze GPS data, motion sensor footage, and security recordings from the car. Meanwhile, Celeste's family has been vocal in their call for justice. They've urged the public to avoid misinformation, but they've also stressed that the unanswered questions surrounding her death cannot be ignored. Was she coerced into meeting David? Was she already in danger before that final footage surfaced? And why did she ultimately end up in his vehicle? For now, the case remains open and active. Until law enforcement releases their full findings or a court date is set, much of the truth is still hidden. What's clear, though, is that Celeste's story has already left an indelible mark on both investigators and the public following every development. Cases like this remind us of something bigger than just one headline. Behind every leaked screenshot, every viral video, and every trending hashtag is a real person. In this case, Celeste, whose life was tragically cut short. It's easy to get lost in speculation, but we have to remember that a family is grieving, and a community is searching for answers. The evidence tied to David raises serious questions, but until all the facts are verified in court, we can't draw final conclusions. What we can do, however, is keep asking the important questions. Who was truly responsible for Celeste's final moments? What led her to cross paths with David in the first place? And most importantly, what still doesn't add up? I want to hear from you. Comment down below what you think really happened, but please do so respectfully. Avoid spreading misinformation or attacking others. True crime discussions are most powerful when they shed light, not when they spread rumors. At the end of the day, the goal is justice for Celeste and for the truth to finally be revealed.